How's it going, guys? Akira here, and today I am doing basically a collection showcase of my entire Wii U collection. Now, the Wii U, as we all know, is a console that wasn't a commercial success. It was, a commercial failure. Nintendo's biggest failure since the Virtual Boy, but I guess in terms of home consoles, it was their biggest failure. Now, due to that, obviously a lot of third parties that weren't releasing their games on Wii U, you know, justifiably so. There was no reason why you would release your games on the Wii U when, stuff like on Steam and Xbox and PlayStation 4 were gonna get you more sales. So that made the Wii U have a limited amount of releases for the library. So for example, the rest of the consoles of the eighth generation, right? The Wii U obviously had the smallest library. So something like the Xbox One had has a few thousand games in its library. I don't know the exact number, but I'm assuming it's definitely in the thousands for sure. The Switch and the PS4 by far have the biggest library in that generation, and arguably the biggest library of any console of all time. I know that the PS4 and the Switch, um, games released for those two consoles, like it's like like it's their job. I know if we're counting all times, I know PS2's up there as well with the biggest library. But yeah, so that leaves with the Wii U with a small library. Now, I don't have a huge collection for the Wii U. I know that since the Wii U has a small library of only 200 and something games, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like close to 300, it's like 270 to some 280, something along those lines. Um, a lot of people have tried to make a full collection set for Wii U, right? Because it's an obtainable number. Unlike something like, imagine if you're trying to collect for like the Switch or the PS4, it's impossible to literally get every single PS4 game or every single Switch game, or if you're more into retro, can you imagine trying to get every single PS2 game ever come out? It's like feasibly impossible. But something like a smaller library like the Wii U or an OG Xbox or something along those lines, um it's not unreasonable or full set of Nintendo 64, since that one also only has like around 200 to 300 games. But anyways, that's besides the point. I also have a small collection of the Wii U because it's a console that most of its games have been ported to the Switch, so there's literally no reason to get the Wii U version. If in this video I show you a game that I have on Wii U that's also on Switch, it's because I most likely got it when I was a kid, um, or a young teenager, and the Wii U was the console I had, growing up, and it was the only game at the time. And then I guess into my adulthood, I eventually got in the Switch. So that would literally be the only reason why you see me with, like, let's say a Wii U version of a game that's also on Switch. Other than that, yeah, I want to show you guys, and yeah, let's get on with it. Number one here we have Bayonetta 2, as you can see here. Um, I know that the original Bayonetta came out on Xbox 360 and on PS3, and it was received uh very highly, right? People reviewed it, a lot of people liked it. But I know that there was trouble developing the sequel, so Nintendo stepped in and I believe either funded or helped get the game on track, and that's why Bayonetta, starting from Bayonetta 2, it's exclusive on Switch, right? Bayonetta 1, it still comes out on another console, so that's why you've seen it. If you've ever asked yourself, oh, how come Bayonetta 1 I see it on like Xbox and PS4 and PS5 and and Steam, but not Bayonetta 2, and I only see Bayonetta 2 on Nintendo stuff? That's the reason why. Because Nintendo, I believe, either has the license or co-owns it with Sega, starting from Bayonetta 2 and onwards. But yeah, here I also have the disc for Bayonetta 1. So I do also have Bayonetta 1 here, along with Bayonetta 2. This isn't also the only way I own Bayonetta 1. I own Bayonetta 1 on Xbox 360, and I have it on PS4 as well. So yeah, three different ways. Oh, and on Steam, so four different ways of owning the original Bayonetta. It's a cheap way. It's a cheap game, excuse me, to come by. So it's not expensive. But Bayonetta 2, that's the only way I own Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. Will I ever get on the Switch? Perhaps if I find it. But right now, Switch games are still like, expensive, whether it's new or used. And not to go into a rant, but like Switch games from 2017 still like being $60 is a crime against humanity. But anyways, up next we have Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Super cool stuff. Now, going to a little story. I'm not gonna go into the story of all these games, but I guess growing up with like in the Wii and in the seventh generation, right, with the 360 and the Wii and the PS3. Um, Obviously, when you're a kid and you see all the cool kids playing on Xbox 360 and PS3, and you're the one with the Wii for like the first half of that generation. I was like, man, all these people are playing Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, and all these cool games. The Bioshock games and stuff. Man, I want to play all those cool games. And then I know there was a few Call of Duty games on Wii, but they were like these like gimped like nerfed versions of them. So then when finally the Wii U came out and Nintendo promised us that we're gonna get the hardcore games plus the Nintendo stuff, and obviously as a kid, I got sold into it. Looking back, I wish I would have gotten the PS4 instead. During that 2013 era, or at least 2012/2013. But I remember when I was a kid, and finally I was like, dude, an actual Call of Duty that's comparable to the 360 and then or the 360 and PS3 versions, soon to be slash PS4 version and Xbox One, and it was Black Ops 2, and I remember I made research to make sure this wasn't like a watered down nerfed version like how they were on Wii. And to find out that this was exactly like the Xbox and PlayStation version, I was so happy to play it. And I remember I played it and stuff. And I believe this Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 4 are the only two Call of Duty games that I put actual time into. So that's pretty funny. But anyways, I ended up like years later getting it on PS3 as well. And I believe and my brother has it on Xbox 360. So I guess pretty funny that we have this on Wii U as well. Usually when people say, "Oh, I played Black Ops 2," they mean it on PlayStation or on Xbox. Nobody's reminisce of Black Ops 2 on Wii U. So I thought it was pretty funny. Up next we have Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. This is a game that I always thought looked really cool growing up, but I never bought it. I came around to it like later, once the Wii U was already like retro and stuff, and the Wii U was out. I mean, and the Switch was out. Excuse me. Yeah, pretty cool game, pretty cool concept. I know it's a sequel to Kirby and the is it the Canvas Curse or something like on DS? I've never played that one. But yeah, it's a very fun time. It's very chill. I really like it. Up next, we have Breath of the Wild. Um, I know I said this many times. I know people think this is the best thing in the world since we went to the moon. But eh, it doesn't feel like Zelda to me. For me, the Zelda formula is like Ocarina, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Link to the Past. For me, that's what Zelda is. Your dungeon crawlings, with your explorations and collectibles and catching heart pieces and this and that and blah blah blah. That's Zelda to me. This is more in the exploration and less in the dungeon crawling, and it just doesn't feel like the Zelda formula. I also have this on Switch. Have it on the Wii U as well. Got it for really cheap when I found it one day for like $5 on the Wii U, and I'm like, why not? I mean, yeah, why not? Just for the novelty of also having it on Wii U along with the Switch. But yeah, good game. I think it's just a bit overrated. Now this is a good game, Zelda Wind Waker HD. I remember since I've said this before, I was too young in the whole GameCube and PS2 era, so I didn't know anything. Um, you know, but then I started getting old enough to understand, you know, playing games and then and watching movies and stuff during the Wii 360 PS3 era. So I never got to play this game, but I've always thought it looked really cool. This one and and Twilight Princess on the GameCube. And then when I remember when Edgy Enuma and one of the Nintendo Directs they announced Wind Waker HD. Um, oh, this was one of those games. Funny enough, I ended up I forgot how it was. I believe either a friend lent it to me or I just went to his house a lot. Oh, on the upcoming months that this game was coming out, I got the opportunity to play the GameCube version. So I played it, and I remember not liking it as much as I thought I would. I remember being like, Ocarina of Time is better. You know, Majora's Mask is better. Twilight Princess is better. Um, so it kind of my hype kind of like it went down a little bit, but regardless I still ended up getting it, and the new stuff with the Wii U, like the faster sailing, and then the Miiverse bottles. Oh my god, you throw a bottle and then you see who catches it, or you catch people's Miiverse posts and stuff. I remember that was super cool, so that kind of brought a little bit a little fresh spin to it. But regardless, it's a good game. I prefer Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past. But I do prefer this over Breath of the Wild, so there's that. Up next, we have Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. I know that this game goes for a lot. It goes for like 50 or $60. I remember getting it for like, I found it for 40 something, 45, I think, when it was going for 60. And I was like, you know what? I like the Mario and Sonic games. I had fun with the DS one. I remember having the Winter Olympics on DS. I still have it. And then the Olympic Games on Wii and stuff. So I was like, let me get it. Why not? Plus, I know this is gonna go up in price. This just keeps going up in price. So it's like, might as well get it for 40. Then years later, and it's like 120. So yeah, pretty cool. I know it has a soccer, so I remember that being a high for me because soccer is my favorite sport, and I don't remember the Wii Olympics having soccer unless it's been too long and my memory is hazy. Mario Party 10, right? I know that this is probably the least liked Mario Party game. I don't know. It's fun for like a few rounds or like one or two rounds, and then it's like, yeah, I'd rather just be playing Mario Party on GameCube. But yeah, I had fun. Like I said, I had fun. But yeah, let's go back to Mario Party like one, two, three, and then four, five, six, seven. New Super Mario Brothers U plus New Super Luigi U. This is the game that came bundled in with the Wii U bundle that I got, right? I got it with this bundle in, and I remember I was so excited. Like I mentioned earlier, Nintendo had promised us that the Wii U was gonna be this crazy, you know, hardcore console, right? With all the hardcore games like Red Dead Redemption and the Call of Duties and the Grand Theft Autos. You're gonna get those games plus the Nintendo games like the Mario's and the Zeldas and the Kirby's. Um, and I was like, yo, let's go, let's go. Because I was like, I can get everything in one console, right? I don't have to like get a Wii and then to play Mario and then, oh my God, but I want to play GTA and then I get an Xbox 360 and a PS3, right? Um, now as an adult, you don't care, you buy it. But as a kid, you can only, get what your parents, get you. So you're stuck with that. So I remember being like, oh, this is my one and all console. And then funny how it turns out, yeah, it turns out very bad. But anyways, this is a fun game. So this is a game that held me over for the longest time. I remember I tried to 100% complete this game, um, both versions. Unfortunately, everything on my Wii U, since my Wii U had the stupid NAND issues, and I had to get it fixed. Everything had to be reset and blah blah blah. So literally every save data from every game I've ever played throughout the years growing up on the Wii U has been obliterated. So now, um, yeah, my save files are all gone. Oh yeah. Up next, Nintendo Land. Right. I know this is what came bundled with everyone's Wii U. My Wii U, it had the Mario and Luigi one. I ended up getting this years later, used for like $5. Very very good game, very fun. I know it's not what people are saying. Oh, it's not the Wii Sports. It's not a cultural hit, but to be honest, I think this is just as good as Wii Sports. I like it. It's very fun. It's good for parties for four people or two people. However you want to play. It's a fun time. Up next, we have Sonic Lost World. I know this is a very polarizing game. Some people love it, some people hate it. Um, I think it's very good. It's not horrible. It's not like Sonic Boom or like Sonic '06, types of horrible. I think it's just fine, but it is flawed, right? And I know that some people like Adam Koralik or other like YouTubers they've uh perfectly how do I say, they perfectly described this game, that this game was one patch away from being a good game, which I actually agree with that. I feel like if they just had like one patch with like a few, they fixed a few things in that one patch, this would have been like a like a pretty good game. But it's like it's like almost there. But I still say it's a fun time. I say if you find this for like $5 or $10, get it, play, enjoy it. Anything more than that, if you find this for like 30, $40, I wouldn't get it. But yeah. So there it is. Now we have the second stack. Yep. Up next we have Snoopy's Grand Adventure. I also have this on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and 3DS and Xbox 360. So I have all of them. Those were all the versions that came out. So I have all of them. I know this is like a 2D side scroller game, similar to like a 2D Mario game. It reminds me more of physically of like a Rayman game, like like the floatiness. I don't know if that explains like the gravity when you go into like the 2D side scroller things. It reminds me more of a Rayman game, but regardless, plays the same like Mario or whatever. But it's more of a collectathon, so you collect like jelly beans and a few other things to find Charlie Brown and your other friends. And yeah, it's very fun co-op. I think if you want to play this, I think you're better off getting it on PS4 or Xbox One. But if you, let's say, you only have like Nintendo stuff, or your favorite console of choice is the Wii U, I would say get it for Wii U. But regardless, this is a very fun game. I know this is a very cheap game now. I have a feeling that this game will go skyrocket in price because this game has been delisted. It's a license, so and I'm sure the license ran out at some point. So that's probably why they delisted it. So, for example, if you go right now to the Xbox marketplace or the PSN store on PS4, PS5, it's not there. It's delisted. So I have a feeling people are gonna catch wind to that, and it's gonna be it's gonna get expensive, regardless on all versions, even the Xbox 360 version, which is like you know like a 20-year-old console at this point. Up next, we have Star Fox Zero. And yeah, I know that this is a very controversial game because of the controllers. People are saying if it wasn't for the controls, excuse me, if it wasn't for the controls, those weird motion controls, this would be a great game. And yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, it's a shame because it's a very good game, but the controls kind of like make me just just I don't know what it is. I just want to turn off the Wii U. But regardless, it's cool to see Star Fox. I miss Star Fox. I wish we had a Star Fox entry on the Switch. Same thing with like F-Zero and other dormant Nintendo franchises. I don't know what's up with companies ignoring like 99% of their franchises and only releasing like two or three like every year. But anyways, up next we have Super Mario 3D World, another game that I 100%ed, but with the whole thing that happened with my Wii U, I just all the data was gone. So it's unfortunate. But yeah, I also have this on Switch as well. I don't know if I mentioned of any other games that are in this list that I have on Switch, like the Mario and everything that you see in this list that is on the Switch. I have it on the Switch as well. So yeah, another one on the Switch. I beat the one on the Switch, but I didn't 100% it because I was like, oh, I already 100% of the Wii U one. So yeah, there's that. And I know the Switch one has the Bowser mode or whatever it was called. I forget. Up next, we have Super Mario Maker. This is a super cool game. I remember when the servers got taken down, people were very sad because they're like, man, all our creations and stuff. Kind of reminds me of what happened with Little Big Planet, where people's creation is just gone unless you then like downloaded them and save them in your hard drive. So I remember people had the same reaction to Little Big Planet as they had when these servers were shutting down. But hey, I mean, at least there's still Super Mario Maker 2 on Switch, and those servers are still up, and you know, you get to enjoy that game. But I remember this one having all like the little cameos of the characters. Um, I never got to like get too deep into this game though, if I'm being honest, because it's like a commitment. It's like, you gotta get into it and start really creating stuff and sharing and getting to the community. But I think at that time I was really into like, Smash and the competitive aspect for that. So it's like, if I was digging, if I was going crazy in one game, it was Smash. So I didn't get to dive into too much into this one. So that whole online community aspect of the game, um I never really got into. I remember I did most of like the offline single player stuff, like I think it was like the 100 Mario challenge or 10 Mario challenge, something along those lines. I remember doing that and stuff. Up next, the game that I sunk the most hour into and that it hurts the most, that all my data was deleted. Nintendo and your stupid Wii U NAND problems. But anyways, here we have Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Oh my god, I think I have like 5 to, I remember the count was like 5 to 6 thousand hours into this game. Maybe even no, no, no. It was more. It was like 6 or 7, something like that, right? And that was just in that Wii U alone. That does not counting other people's Wii U when I would just hella go to other people's house and grind this game out. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, damn it, I wish I can go. I wish I can check the actual timer of the amount of time I have into that game. But damn it, bro, I hate that. And I lost all my stuff, all my trophies, all my progress, the records that it shows you, which of the characters you use the most, and damn it, I hate that. But anyways, yeah, here it is, Smash Brothers Wii U. If I were to plop this in right now into my Wii U, it would literally be as if like I just started the game for the first time ever, um, because everything has been deleted. I did get my account back, right, and I did re-download all my um digital stuff, like my digital virtual console games and DLC and stuff. I did download all that stuff back, but you know, I didn't like um unlock everything, like progress to the game. So for example, like Mario 3D World or this game. So yeah, there it is. But anyways, fun game. I know it's very flawed. I know people don't like it as much as Melee and Brawl and Ultimate. But I will say it is fun if you use a certain type of characters, if you know what I mean. If you use Diddy, Bayonetta, Cloud. That's the only time when that game was fun. But anyways, up next we have Tokyo Mirage Session FE. You guys notice that this copy is sealed. It's because when I got this game, not 2 days later, they were having a sale on the Switch version. So I ended up getting it on the Switch as well. Funny enough. So yeah, this one I have it sealed. Just cause I have it sealed. I don't have plans of getting rid of it and stuff. I know it has like I know this game it has like a cult following, and it's not a very common game. Um but which is crazy if the Switch I have a feeling if the Switch version hadn't come out, this game would be like one of those games that's like 90 to like $100 on eBay. But thankfully the Switch version came out, so it keeps either this version or the Switch version very cheap. But yeah, so there it is. Up next we have one of my favorite Switch. Look at me, Switch games. One of my favorite Wii U games. We have Xenoblade Chronicles X. Right. Again, this is another one, especially like with RPGs, long games like these. It sucks when all your data is deleted. But yeah. But anyways, I do plan on replaying this when the Switch version comes out, so that'll be exciting. Um and yeah, and hopefully get to keep my data on the Switch version. But regardless, super cool game. I know it's a standalone like the story, it's standalone, compared to like 1, 2, and 3, because I know those have continuity or on the Switch. But this one, you can play it at any moment at point. You could start with this one and then play 1, 2, and 3, or you can play 1, 2, and 3 and then play X. But regardless, I say if you guys want to play this game, get it on the Switch, support it on the Switch, so Nintendo knows that Xenoblade fans, or they're still interested in Xenoblade games. So yeah. And then these next two games, I'm gonna show you just the case, but I do have them on. These games, they had like amiibo collections. So I know they came like the game with like the box and an amiibo. So I do have that, but it's somewhere in one of my bins over there that I don't feel like taking everything out, and then just to take out that bin and take out all that stuff. So I'm just gonna show you the game cases that I have around, obviously with the games inside. And the first one is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Wii U. This game also came out on 3DS and on Switch. Um, either version is fun, but I know this version specifically has, from what I remember, it has a level or two dedicated, to Super Mario 3D World. Meanwhile, the 3DS and the Switch version have one of Mario Odyssey. So that's the only difference between those two. So yeah, I guess pick which one you prefer. But I do have the Toad amiibo. I see it right over there. Mr. Toad is over there. His amiibo is over there, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, awesome game, fun game, relaxing game. If you're into like that sort of like puzzle type game where you got to guide like the level and the camera view, and move your Toad accordingly to reach the stars and the collectibles and stuff like that. The other one that I have, same thing, I have the amiibo for it somewhere over there with like its box and stuff, is my favorite game on the Wii U, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Now this game is notoriously going for like $100 and something, because this is the best way to play Twilight Princess, right? In HD, better graphics, better performing. I know it's cut down in some of the filler, and and then if you're also looking for the amiibo bundle, because I believe, is he up there? No, he's probably somewhere over there. It's like a wolf amiibo, so it comes with a wolf amiibo, and it's pretty cool. And then that wolf amiibo has you can use it in Breath of the Wild, right? So that's pretty cool that it has a compatibility for that. But anyway, so yeah, so this is the best way to play Twilight Princess. Sucks that Twilight Princess and Wind Waker have not been re-released again for the Switch, which is a bummer, and it's the reason why it keeps the prices on those games high, because I know Wind Waker HD is going for like 50 to 70 right now, and then this one's going for like 120, something like that. So it's a shame. I really want this to be on Switch, because if you really think about it, Wind Waker has a curse. Wind Waker has never been on a successful Nintendo console. Wind Waker has always only been on failure Nintendo consoles. Think about it, on GameCube and on Wii U. So it's like, damn, it's about time Wind Waker is on a successful Nintendo console that the masses can like, it can be, how do I say this? Have a spotlight to the masses. Twilight Princess had that privilege being on the Wii, but nobody bought a Wii for Twilight Princess. Everybody bought a Wii for like Wii Sports. So I guess technically Twilight Princess would fall in that category, and it'll be cool for Twilight Princess to be on the Switch. And in the last game, I do have the amiibo in the box here, because I got this game later on, so I didn't I didn't put away like the box and the amiibo like in the bins. And it is Yoshi's Woolly World. As you can see here, it has the little wool Yoshi, which is super adorable, right? And in the game, the game is right here. Okay, then why am I having trouble taking out the game? There it is. So, Yoshi's Woolly World. Super. This reminds me, obviously, of Kirby's Epic Yarn. I know it has that like inspiration. And yeah, and just like Kirby's Epic Yarn is one of those games where it's super relaxing, super chill, easy platformer that especially just have a good time. But yeah, so yeah, Yoshi's Woolly World, super awesome game. So yeah, that is, I believe, 20 games according to Game Mind, but let me count them just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. /21 if you count Bayonetta 1, that's included on Bayonetta 2. So yeah, 20, let's say 21 games, right? That is my complete Wii U collection. I don't have any plans of getting more Wii U games because I think I've got everything I wanted for the Wii U. Most of the first party stuff is obviously what I'm going for, because usually when the prices skyrocket for a certain console, the first games to skyrocket in price are their first party exclusives, right? So for example, if let's say the PS3 that is cheap now, but if it's to skyrocket in price, obviously, and looking back at history, right, with the other consoles, their first party exclusives would be the ones that go up. So same thing with the Wii U. So I was like, let me get either the first party's exclusive, or third party exclusive. For example, something like Sonic Lost World obviously is not a first party Wii U game. It's a Sega game from a third party, but it is a third party exclusive on Wii U. It's not an Xbox or PlayStation. So like that for me, that's for like in the same category. I would count that in the same category as something like a first party exclusive. So that's mainly what I went for the Wii U, right? I'm not collecting third parties. The only third party multiplat that you see there that I don't know, another console that I have is like Call of Duty, Bayonetta, and maybe like one more that I'm missing that I can't see from here. Um, but yeah, so pretty much that. I know I had the opportunity to get Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna get it on the Switch regardless, because I have yet to play that game. I like the Donkey Kong Country Returns on Wii, and I want to play Tropical Freeze, but I haven't gotten around to it. And I was like, yeah, let me just get it for the Switch. Other than that, and I will do some research to see if I'm missing any feasible first party or Wii U exclusive that I'm missing, so I can get it sooner rather than later, before it becomes something like Devil's Third and it's like $600. But yeah, anyways, do you guys have a Wii U? What is your Wii U collection? Do you guys have more games than me, or do you only have a few? Let me know what you guys think. Please, if you guys feel like I deserve, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, as this will greatly help me with my YouTube journey of reaching 1,000 subscribers. Since I want to see how far I can get this in this whole YouTube thing. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos, talking to you guys, showing you off, my collection, and having conversation with you guys, telling me what do you guys like and not like and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.